When Jake got a text from his girlfriend of 3 years, Mia, saying, "We're done," his world didn't collapse. It ignited. Tired of her manipulative games, he agreed and set her belongings on her porch. But Mia's desperate backtrack revealed a chilling truth. It was all a test. What followed was a whirlwind of deception, public meltdowns, and a fight for freedom that would change Jake's life forever. Jake's phone buzzed on his desk, cutting through the hum of his Austin office. He glanced at the screen, expecting a work email, but saw Mia's name instead. Her message was sharp. "We're done. This isn't working." 3 years together, and she'd ended it with text. His stomach didn't twist. It unclenched. Relief hit him like a cool breeze after a sweltering Texas day. He'd been carrying her games for too long. Jake, 29, was the guy who'd spend his Saturdays at the East Austin Animal Shelter, coaxing shy dogs out of their shells. His colleagues admired his calm under pressure, landing client campaigns with precision. Mia, 28, thrived on chaos. Her tests were a ritual. Last month, she'd sulked when he couldn't skip work for her friend Sarah's art gallery opening. "You don't care about us," she'd said, hinting at a breakup. He'd apologized, promised to make it up, and she'd relented, smugly forgiving him. The cycle was exhausting. This time something snapped. Staring at her words, Jake saw clarity. Her casual dismissal wasn't a breakup, it was a dare. She expected him to beg, to chase her like always. Not today. His fingers moved before doubt could creep in. "I agree. Your stuff's on your porch tonight." He hit send, heart pounding, and leaned back in his chair. The office's open plan buzz faded as he waited. Mia's response was instant. "Wait, what?" Another text followed. "Jake, I didn't mean it." Then 3 crying emojis and, "Can we talk?" His phone lit up with her panic, each message more frantic. "I was just upset. You can't do this." Then, the confession. It was a test. "I wanted to see if you'd fight for us." There was her playbook exposed. Every fight, every threat had been a calculated move to control him. He'd danced to her tune for years, but the music stopped now. Jake shut his laptop, told his boss he needed an hour for a personal matter, and drove to his East Austin apartment. Mia's belongings had crept into his space over time. Yoga mats in the corner, chargers tangled on his nightstand, a half-empty coffee mug she'd left that morning. Each item marked territory he'd surrendered. He grabbed boxes from his closet and started packing. Her noise-canceling headphones went in first, then her stack of journals, untouched since she'd bought them for self-discovery. The act felt like reclaiming his life. His phone buzzed relentlessly, but he ignored it, focusing on the task. By the time he finished, 5 boxes sat neatly stacked by his door. He carried them to Mia's downtown loft, 10 minutes away, and placed them on her porch. The sun dipped low, casting shadows across the quiet street. He texted her, "Your stuff's here. We're done." Then he turned off notifications and drove home, the weight of 3 years lifting with every mile. Back at his apartment, Jake sank onto his couch, the silence unfamiliar but welcome. His phone, face down on the counter, vibrated faintly, Mia, no doubt, spiraling. He didn't check. Instead, he ordered tacos from a food truck app and flipped on a basketball game. For the first time in months, he felt like himself, not a pawn in her game. The relief was intoxicating, but a nagging thought lingered. Mia wouldn't let go this easily. His instinct was right. At 10 p.m., his doorbell camera pinged. Mia stood on his porch, her silhouette sharp against the porch light. She knocked, softly at first, then harder. "Jake, I know you're in there. Please." Her voice cracked, but he stayed still. Opening that door would mean stepping back in her trap. She pounded again, then tried the knob, locked. A loud thud followed. The camera caught her kicking a box, scattering its contents across the porch. "This is ridiculous," she shouted, pacing. Then, in a move that stunned him, she pulled out her phone, dialed, and put it on speaker. "Mom, it's me," Mia said, loud enough for the neighbors to hear. "Jake's throwing me out like trash. He won't even talk." Her mother's voice came through, calm but firm. "Mia, what happened? You said you broke up with him." Mia hesitated, then spilled it. "I was mad. I told him we were done to see if he'd fight for me. He just agreed." The silence that followed was heavy. Her mother sighed. "You can't play games like that. Come home. We'll talk." Mia hung up, grabbed a box, and stormed off. Jake exhaled, his pulse slowing. Her mother's words echoed in his mind. Proof he wasn't the crazy one. But as he replayed the night, One thing was clear. Mia's desperation was just beginning. This wasn't the end. It was the opening shot of a battle he hadn't signed up for. Jake woke to a phone buzzing like a trapped hornet. The screen showed 38 missed calls, all from Mia, spanning midnight to 4 a.m. Her texts were a chaotic spiral. "You're making a mistake," followed by, "I didn't mean to push you away," and then, "How could you do this to us?" He scrolled past the pleas, landing on her final message, "You'll regret this." The threat hung heavy, but Jake deleted the thread, determined to move forward. He had a client pitch at 9 a.m., and no time for her chaos. At his downtown Austin office, Jake buried himself in spreadsheets, crafting a campaign for a local brewery. His focus held until lunch, when he stepped out to his usual coffee shop on Congress Avenue. Mia was there, perched at a corner table, typing furiously on her laptop. She glanced up, locking eyes with him, her expression a calculated mix of hurt and defiance. "Jake, can we talk?" she called, loud enough for nearby patrons to turn. He grabbed his coffee and left without a word, heart racing. This wasn't a coincidence. Back at work, his friend and co-worker, Liam, pulled him aside. "Mia texted me. Said she's worried about you, that you're not yourself." "What's going on?" Jake clenched his jaw. Mia was weaponizing their mutual friends, spinning a narrative to isolate him. He showed Liam the breakup text and her admission of testing him. Liam's eyes widened. "She's playing dirty. Watch your back." Jake nodded, but unease settled in. Mia's reach was longer than he'd expected. That evening, at his gym near Zilker Park, Jake spotted her again. She was chatting with the front desk staff, claiming she'd forgotten her guest pass for his membership. When they called him to verify, he shut it down. "She's not my guest. We're not together." The staff escorted her out, her protests echoing through the lobby. Jake's phone pinged minutes later, a new Instagram post from Mia. A selfie with a tear-streaked caption, "When someone you love throws you away." Comment from her followers piled up, calling him heartless. She'd flipped the script, painting him as the villain. The next morning, Jake's doorbell camera caught Sarah, Mia's best friend, lingering outside his East Austin apartment. She left a handwritten letter taped to his door. "Jake, Mia's a mess. You're breaking her. Meet her to talk, please." Suspicion flared. Sarah had always been Mia's loyal ally, but this felt orchestrated. He called Liam, who dropped a bombshell. "Sarah's been feeding Mia your schedule. Coffee shop, gym, even trivia night at the bar. She's helping her stalk you." Jake's blood ran cold. Mia wasn't acting alone. Determined to take control, Jake filed for a temporary restraining order at the Travis County Courthouse. He presented the evidence: Mia's texts admitting her manipulation, doorbell footage of her tantrum, and screenshots of her social media posts. The clerk scheduled a hearing for the following week. Jake felt a flicker of hope, but Mia wasn't slowing down. That night, she posted a cryptic TikTok video, lip-syncing to a heartbreak song with text overlay, "Betrayed by the one I gave everything to." Her followers ate it up, flooding Jake's DMs with accusations. He muted notifications, but the pressure was mounting. Friday brought a new low. Jake's boss called him into her office, her face grim. HR got a call from someone claiming to be a doctor, saying you missed a mental health appointment. It was Mia. Jake's fist clenched. She'd impersonated a professional to get to him. He explained the breakup, the harassment, the restraining order filing. His boss nodded, promising to block future calls, but the damage was done. Coworkers were whispering, questioning his stability. Mia's campaign was bleeding into his professional life. Saturday night, Jake joined Liam for trivia at their favorite bar in South Austin. He scanned the room, half expecting Mia to appear. Sure enough, she was there, sitting with Sarah and two others, her table positioned to watch him. She didn't approach, but her presence was a taunt. Liam leaned in. "She's trying to wear you down. Don't give in." Jake nodded, but the constant vigilance was exhausting. He left early, craving the safety of his apartment. On Sunday, a LinkedIn message from Clara, a self-proclaimed life coach, popped up. "Jake, I'm a friend of Mia's. She's hurting. Let's discuss closure and healing." He checked Clara's profile. Her certification was a 6-week online course. Mia had recruited an amateur mediator to guilt him back. He blocked her, but the audacity stunned him. Mia's tactics were evolving, each move bolder than the last. As Jake prepared for the restraining order hearing, he documented everything: texts, videos, even Claire's message. He knew Mia wouldn't stop without a fight, but he was ready. Her web of lies was unraveling, and the truth was his weapon. The question wasn't whether she'd escalate. It was how far she'd go before the consequences caught up. Jake walked into the Travis County Courthouse, a folder of evidence tucked under his arm. Screenshots, doorbell footage, and the LinkedIn message from Clara formed a damning timeline of Mia's harassment. His temporary restraining order hearing was set for 10 a.m., and he'd prepared like it was a client pitch. Mia arrived with Sarah and a thin stack of papers, her posture defiant. Jake avoided her gaze, focusing on the judge, a sharp-eyed woman who radiated authority. The hearing began with Jake presenting his case. He showed Mia's breakup text and her admission of testing him, followed by the video of her kicking boxes on his porch. The judge's pen moved steadily, noting details. When he played the audio of Mia's call with her mother, confessing her manipulation, the courtroom went silent. Mia shifted uncomfortably, whispering to Sarah. Jake ended with a fake doctor call to his workplace and her orchestrated coffee shop run-ins. "She's trying to control my life," he said. "I just want peace." Mia took the stand, clutching her papers. "It's not what it looks like," she insisted, voice trembling. She claimed Jake had been distant, pushing her to test his commitment. Her evidence, screenshots of their old, happy texts, felt flimsy, a nostalgic plea rather than a defense. The judge cut in. "You initiated the breakup, correct?" Mia nodded, hesitating. "And when he agreed, you escalated with harassment." Mia stammered, unable to counter the footage. The judge granted a 200-yard restraining order, effective immediately. "Respect his boundaries," she warned Mia. "This stops now." Jake left the courthouse, adrenaline fading into relief. The order was a shield, but he knew Mia too well. She'd bend the rules. That afternoon, he returned to his Austin office, where his boss pulled him aside. "Mia applied for a digital marketing role here," she said, frowning. "HR rejected it because of the restraining order." Jake's stomach dropped. Mia had tried to infiltrate his workplace, betting on forced proximity to sway him. He thanked his boss, who assured him the company was on his side. That evening, Jake's phone pinged with a letter forwarded from Sarah's email. It was Mia's handwriting, skirting the restraining order's no-contact rule. "I'm sorry for pushing you," it read. "I just wanted us to work." Jake forwarded it to his lawyer, who filed a violation report. The audacity stunned him. Mia was testing the order's limits within hours. He blocked Sarah's email, cutting another tie to Mia's network. The next day, Jake met Liam for lunch at a food truck park near Lady Bird Lake. Liam revealed a twist. Sarah had confessed to mutual friends that she'd helped Mia track Jake, but only because Mia claimed he was unstable. Sarah's guilt was spreading, and some friends were questioning Mia's story. Jake felt a spark of vindication. The truth was seeping out, despite Mia's social media campaign. Her latest post, a vague quote about betrayal by those you trust, was losing traction, with fewer likes than before. Friday morning brought chaos. Jake's office security team called him to the lobby. Mia was outside, sitting on the sidewalk with a handmade sign. "Jake, let's fix this." Passers-by stared as she waved it, her voice carrying through the glass doors. "I just want to talk." Jake stayed upstairs, heart pounding, while security called the police. Officers arrived, citing the restraining order, and escorted Mia away. Jake's boss, witnessing the scene, emailed HR to document it, strengthening his case. That night, Jake checked his doorbell camera archive. Mia had visited his apartment at 2 a.m., leaving a small box with a note. "You'll always have a piece of me." Inside was a photo of them from their first date, torn in half. He reported it to the police, who added it to her violation log. The escalation was unnerving, but Jake refused to waver. He installed extra locks and shared the footage with his lawyer, who warned that Mia's behavior could lead to stricter penalties. By Sunday, the tide turned. Liam forwarded a group chat where Sarah admitted Mia's lies, saying she'd exaggerated Jake's coldness to gain sympathy. Two mutual friends reached out, apologizing for believing Mia's narrative. "We didn't know the full story," one texted. Jake appreciated the support, but stayed cautious. Mia's influence lingered. He focused on work, nailing a brewery campaign pitch that earned him a bonus. The victory felt like a reclaiming of his life. As the week ended, Jake learned Mia had been fired from her social media job. She'd missed shifts, distracted by her fixation on him, and her boss had seen her sidewalk stunt on local news. The public humiliation was a blow Mia hadn't anticipated. Jake didn't celebrate, but he felt the balance shifting. Mia's world was crumbling under the weight of her own actions, and the restraining order was holding. For now, he knew she'd try one last move, but he was ready, armed with evidence and resolve. Jake's phone stayed silent for 3 days after Mia's sidewalk protest, an uneasy calm that felt like the eye of a storm. He threw himself into work, finalizing a campaign for a local tech startup, but vigilance lingered. The restraining order was in place, but Mia's knack for sidestepping boundaries kept him on edge. On Monday, his lawyer called with news. Mia's latest violation, leaving the torn photo at his door, had triggered a court review. She faced potential fines or community service if found guilty of breaching the order again. That afternoon, Jake spotted an unfamiliar car parked across from his East Austin apartment. A man in his early 30s leaned against it, scrolling on his phone. As Jake approached, the man straightened. "You Jake?" he asked, tone clipped. Jake nodded, bracing himself. "I'm Ethan, Mia's new boyfriend. She says you've been harassing her, making her life hell." Jake's pulse quickened. Mia had spun a new lie, recruiting a stranger to confront him. He kept calm. "Ethan, I got a restraining order against her. Want to see why?" Ethan hesitated, then followed Jake inside. In his living room, Jake pulled up the evidence on his laptop. Mia's breakup text, her confession of testing him, the doorbell footage of her outburst, and the police report from her fake doctor call. Ethan's expression shifted from skepticism to unease as he watched the video of Mia's mother calling her out. "She told me you dumped her out of nowhere," Ethan said, voice low. "Said you were controlling." Jake shook his head. "She's projecting. Protect yourself." Ethan left, promising to rethink things, his confidence visibly shaken. Tuesday brought another twist. Jake's co-worker, Liam, forwarded a screenshot from a mutual friends group chat. Sarah, Mia's former ally, had apologized publicly, admitting she'd helped Mia track Jake's movements out of misguided loyalty. "I didn't know she was lying about him," Sarah wrote. The chat exploded, with friends demanding Mia explain herself. Her silence spoke volumes. Jake felt a surge of relief. The truth was gaining ground, eroding her support network. Wednesday morning, Jake's boss called him into a meeting. HR had received an anonymous complaint accusing Jake of workplace hostility. The timing was no coincidence. He explained Mia's history of harassment, showing HR the restraining order and core documents. They dismissed the complaint as baseless, but the incident left Jake rattled. Mia was targeting his career, her desperation morphing into sabotage. He emailed his lawyer, who added the complaint to the growing case file. That evening, Jay joined Liam at a music festival near Zilker Park, hoping for a break. Halfway through a set, he spotted Mia's friend Rachel in the crowd, watching him. She approached, voice soft. "Mia es estraling, Jake." She lost her job and moved back to Houston. Jake kept his tone firm. "That's her doing, not mine." Rachel nodded, backing off, but her presence felt like another of Mia's probes. Jake left early, his night soured. Thursday, the court review arrived. Jake attended via video call, presenting the new violations, the letter through Sarah, the torn photo, and the sidewalk stunt. Mia appeared, her demeanor subdued, claiming she was emotional and meant no harm. The judge wasn't swayed. "You violated a clear order," she said, issuing a $500 fine and mandating 20 hours of community service. Mia's shoulders slumped, but Jake saw defiance in her eyes. She wasn't done. Friday, Jake learned Mia had tried to contact him through a burner phone, leaving a voicemail. "I just want closure, Jake. Meet me once." He reported it immediately, and the police traced the number, confirming another violation. The judge scheduled a second hearing, warning Mia of potential jail time for further breaches. Jake's lawyer advised him to install a security system, which he did, adding cameras around his apartment. By Saturday, Mia's social media had gone quiet, her posts no longer gaining traction. Liam shared that mutual friends had confronted her, and her vague responses, blaming stress and misunderstandings, fell flat. Her credibility was crumbling. Jake, meanwhile, landed a major client pitch, earning praise from his boss. The win felt like a lifeline, pulling him further from Mia's chaos. Sunday morning, Jake volunteered at the animal shelter, walking a shy retriever named Max. The routine grounded him, a reminder of the life he was rebuilding. As he locked up, his phone pinged, a text from an unknown number. "You can't erase me." It was Mia, using another burner. Jake forwarded it to his lawyer, frustration mixing with resolve. Her persistence was relentless, but each move exposed her further. The consequences were closing in, and Jake was ready for whatever came next. Jake woke to a notification from his new security system, motion detected at 3 a.m. outside his East Austin apartment. The footage showed a figure dropping an envelope at his door before vanishing. His gut told him it was Mia, defying the restraining order again. He retrieved the envelope. Inside was a single page, scrawled with "You'll never be free." He called his lawyer, who filed a police report by noon. The second court hearing was days away, and Mia's violations were stacking up like evidence in a trial. Monday, Jake's office buzzed with good news. His tech startup campaign had doubled their projected sales, earning him a promotion to senior marketing coordinator. His boss clapped him on the shoulder, unaware of the chaos shadowing his success. That afternoon, Liam texted a bombshell. Mia's former roommate, Rachel, had kicked her out after finding burner phones hidden in her apartment. Rachel's text to their friend group read, "I can't enable this anymore. She's obsessed." Mia's allies were abandoning her, the truth too glaring to ignore. Tuesday, Jake spotted Ethan, Mia's new boyfriend, at a gas station near South Congress. Ethan approached, looking drained. "I ended it with Mia," he said. "She lied about everything, said you were stalking her. I saw your evidence. I am sorry." Jake nodded, offering no sympathy but feeling a weight lift. Ethan's exit was another crack in Mia's crumbling facade. He drove home, checking his cameras obsessively, knowing Mia's next move was coming. Wednesday's court hearing was decisive. Jake presented the latest violations: the burner phone voicemail, the anonymous envelope, and security footage. The judge, visibly exasperated, turned to Mia. "You've disregarded a legal order multiple times," she said. "This is your final warning." She extended the restraining order to 2 years, ordered 40 hours of mandatory therapy, and warned of jail time for further breaches. Mia sat silent, her usual defiance gone. Jake left the courthouse, his resolve hardened, but his nerves frayed. Thursday, Jake's lawyer called with an update. Mia's parents had intervened, moving her to their Houston home under strict supervision. The therapy mandate required weekly reports, and her social media accounts were deactivated, likely by her family. Jake felt a cautious relief, but he didn't trust the quiet. He upgraded his security system with motion sensor lights, ensuring no one could approach unnoticed. At work, HR confirmed they'd blocked all external calls to his desk, shielding him from further stunts. Friday night, Jake joined Liam and 2 colleagues at a brewery near Zilker Park. The mood was light, but a text from an unknown number interrupted. "I'm getting help. Please forgive me." It was Mia, breaking the order again. Jake forwarded it to the police, who traced it to a Houston area code. Her violation triggered an arrest warrant for breaching the restraining order. By Saturday, Mia was detained briefly, released on the condition she attend therapy and avoid all contact with Jake. Her parents confiscated her phone, cutting her digital lifeline. Sunday, Jake volunteered at the animal shelter, where he finalized adoption papers for Max, the retriever he'd bonded with. Walking Max through a park, he ran into Rachel, who looked remorseful. "Mia's in therapy," she said. "Her parents say she's unraveling, but she's starting to see what she did." Jake listened, unmoved. "She made her choices," he said, walking away. Rachel's words confirmed Mia's consequences were real, jobless, isolated, and facing a long road to accountability. A week later, Jake moved to a new apartment in South Austin, its open layout and morning sunlight a fresh start. He hung a framed photo of Max above his desk, a symbol of his reclaimed freedom. His promotion brought new clients, and his evenings were spent hiking or catching live music, surrounded by friends who'd seen the truth. Mia's absence felt like a gift, her chaos replaced by calm. The final closure came unexpectedly at a downtown coffee shop. Mia's father approached Jake, his expression heavy. "She's in a program now," he said. "We didn't see how far she'd gone. Thank you for standing your ground." Jake nodded, accepting the apology, but feeling no need to dwell. As he walked away, Max trotting beside him, he realized Mia's breakup text had been a turning point. Her manipulation had pushed him to reclaim his life, proving that sometimes the worst moments lead to the best outcomes. Mia faced her consequences, therapy, isolation, and a fractured reputation, while Jake thrived, free at last.